Welcome to Soul, a weekly entertainment show on fashion, arts and culture, food, relationships, and mental health. Our weekly co-hosts are Dr. Delvena Thomas, Imani Warren, and Chef Irie. Now introducing our host, Miss Nicky Gelin.
Hey, it's your girl. It is Nikki G. Nikki says YOLO. And welcome to MIA Magazine Presents So hope you're having a great Wednesday. Hope you're keeping dry. And I want to give a shout out to Jill Tracy with Hot 105. So I was on the gram and she wrote that she is excited to be a judge for the Art of Tiki cocktail presented by Bacardi and Patron at this year's South Beach Wine and Food Festival. So go girl, representation matters, and we'll see you in a couple of, in about next week. Yeah, I think it's next weekend. So congrats to Jill Tracy. Also, a big shout out to our sponsors, the Florida Lottery and Duke and Dame. Now, y'all, I've been on a self-care journey for the past 2 months. I'm not really big on doing facials, but it's something that I want to incorporate within my daily life. It's something that I want to become more invested in. And I was able to get my first ever deep facial with a microdermabrasion, with extractions. I've never went that deep as far as digging into my pores or even extractions. So here is my experience with skincare by Tova. Tova is highly recommended. She's based in West Miramar, and she went in on my skin. So regardless of your skin type or your skin tone, facials are a necessity. It's a necessity, and ladies, definitely invest in your skin. And Aaliyah, let's go ahead and play that video. Okay, so it's time for my facial. No lashes, my eyebrows are not done. This is like the real pure skin.
We're gonna get ready. We're gonna do a double cleanse. We're gonna help remove dirt, oils, all of that bad stuff that's probably been lingering around all day.
Oh, yeah, I'm bad at that. If you see any chin hairs, just ignore my chin hairs. Just face soap, toner, and moisturizer. That's
I'll show right here.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So there's two reasons. So it's either you're not washing off the product, whether it's makeup or dirt and oils properly or long, you're not doing it long enough, or the product that you are using is not doing a good job.
The sponge, I use cotton. So would you recommend like a spongy sponge like that?
To wash your face?
Yeah, to get rid of, I guess, the foundation, the dirt.
Yes, but are you using new ones every time?
Yeah, I'm using scrubbing that face,
yeah, girl.
Scrubbing it. Ooh, much better.
See?
Yes, I don't see any brown residue on there.
No residue.
Wow, all these things. So you were talking about with the sponge, if you recycle it, there may be bacteria on it.
Correct. That's very peach enzyme peel, because one thing I do want to say about us Black people and people of color, scrubs is not our friend. It breaks down our skin tissue. It clogs our pores. It scratches our skin. It cleans our skin at the same time when it comes to exfoliation.
Okay, wait a minute. So the homemade sugar scrubs, you do not recommend?
It should not even be touching our skin. Homemade, anything, salt, sugar, or those bristle brushes.
Oh my God, I got one of those.
No.
Oh!
No. Not for your skin.
Oh my God.
Not for your skin. Of it. So that's why you gotta lean on enzyme peels.
Yeah.
You gotta lean on literally acid and enzyme peels.
Okay.
That is all we need to do. There's areas on top of the face that actually alerts you to things that you need to worry about. Like, for example, you can't even see.
Oh, okay.
For example, when anything around your chin is hormones.
Mm-hmm.
So when you break out around here, it's something about your hormones. Anything around your cheeks is respiratory, and anything around your forehead is gut. So if people paid attention to these signs that your skin's giving you, then that can help you with your skincare routine. Because next, I'm just going to be scraping your skin.
I don't want to mess this up. Like, I don't want to wear any makeup tomorrow. I know I need the lashes. I gotta contour.
You can do lashes.
You know what I'm saying?
A nice little eyeliner.
Yeah.
Get too crazy.
I like to contour my cheekbones, and you know what I'm saying? Oh, look at my face.
Yeah.
And this is no filter. Like, this is no filter. This is like my real face, no filter. Okay.
My real face. This is how I really look like. Yeah. I had you set up for LED, but no, you got some dead skin that I want to get rid of.
Oh, okay. So wait, with the microdermabrasion, am I gonna be like bruised or?
Nope.
Because I heard like some stories about it. Like,
some people don't know their limit. What they'll do is they'll put it on the highest suction, and that's not what you're supposed to do.
Oh,
you gotta test it out. You see how you already got red? That's all you gotta do is just test it out. Know your limit. Get me? So.
Oh my God, I'm so happy I came to you.
Yeah, there we go. So this is a good balance.
Oh.
But yeah, some people they're like, okay, the more suction, the better. You know, it's gonna work better, but no, it's not. You're damaging the skin.
So right now you're just sucking up all the dirt.
I'm sucking up all the dirt, and then I am exfoliating the skin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my first microdermabrasion.
Yeah.
I used to be a virgin. Okay.
Horror stories is that people just get carried away.
Yeah, and I've seen pictures.
No.
Yeah, okay.
Really should feel a little effortless.
So how often do you recommend doing like a microdermabrasion? Or like, yeah, facial?
So facial once a month. If you want to add on any services, you know, it depends on your skin concerns.
Okay.
If you're a type of person that don't exfoliate a lot at home, then I definitely recommend that you use this. You know, add this to your services.
Okay.
If you're a type of person that do exfoliate at home, so you don't really need it as much, then by all means, you can just do this once in a blue moon.
Yeah, because girl, I'm trying to look like Halle Berry when I turn on like 51, 52. So I don't wax my face because I don't know if it's gonna like, you know, do anything afterwards.
It's not gonna do anything. Well, you gotta have the right person.
Oh, see, okay,
Yeah.
see. Well, now I met you.
Yeah, like you wax
before. So you're you know what? Can I say that you're my first time doing this? I feel like I'm safe.
Yeah.
I feel comfortable. I feel, or should I say comfortable? You see any whiteheads coming out?
No, like there's a lot of pores that are clogged.
Oh, look at me.
It feels so good.
Oh.
Yeah. Where is
y'all see this? Bam.
This.
Was that in my face?
That was your face. This is your face.
Oh, the out of my pores.
Oh my God. Really, this is all that dead skin that you had on your skin, like just lingering on top.
Oh my gosh.
So this is gonna be better because now that was actually probably blocking product.
Oh, from penetrating
your skin. So now when you wash your face, when you apply your makeup, when you apply products, it's gonna penetrate more.
Scott?
Okay, so that's it. You know, big shout out to Tova. Tova, thank you so much. And it's because of her why I learned that homemade scrubs are not for us. Also, the brushes as well. I used to have the facial brush, not good for our skin. And also with the hormonal parts, with the chin, the cheeks, and the forehead, I had no idea. So Skincare by Tova, go visit her, support, woman-owned, Black-owned, shout out. Now, stay tuned for our featured guest. She is a soulful songstress. She is a singer, writer, actress, and she just released her new album called No Genre, No Label, the wonderful Pauline Marie. So I'll be speaking to her in about the next 10 minutes, so sit tight. And now on to my first co-host. She is our board-certified psychiatrist and also the founder and host of the Brain Love podcast. So Dr. Delvena, how's it going?
Hey, Nikki, are you ready to take the couch?
I'm always ready.
What we're talking about tonight, Nikki?
Let me see. Is it money?
Yes. Briefly, we will be discussing the psychology of money. And allow me to say that I love the segment you did on the facials. You know, we talk about self-care and self-love. I do a facial once a month, a massage once a month, because it's so important just to have that touch, someone touching your skin and helping to take care of you. And facials are important for the reasons that she talked about. But so let's go on to some more self-care. Self-care is knowing how to manage your money. Self-care is knowing the science behind why you mismanage or how you manage so well your money. So I want to talk a little bit about the psychology of money. Money mentality starts in our childhood. So we learn growing up from watching our household, whether you're raised by your grandparents or your mom and dad, or, you know, an older brother or sister, but you learn your money habits during childhood. Most of our patterns, financial and other stuff, they're created in our brains between the ages of 2 and 12. So you see the little kid in the picture with the piggy bank. You know, you were probably taught by your family, depending, to save money. You got your first piggy bank when you were 1 or 2. Maybe your parents started saving for you before you even started to crawl or to walk. So your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors with money is often a result of how we develop during our childhood. And there's certain parts of the brain that specifically help to manage our money mentality. We call it the primitive brain, the limbic system. It's built on instinct, and it has the goal of survival and safety. So this is where our instincts on finances are housed. And this is why financial decisions are often emotional and reactive. So if you understand this, you'll do better with your money. Now, I teach a course called The Psychology of Money. Tonight, obviously, I don't have enough time to teach all of it. So I'm going to jump ahead. I skipped the stuff about the brain. But in The Psychology of Money, we talk about someone's money type. What is your money type? Are you a shopper, a saver, a debtor, or an investor? So tonight, I'm just going to talk about the first two types, the shopper and also the saver. So the shopper is comfortable spending money. They don't fear debt. Shoppers, they like to take risks when they're investing. They love on people by spending their money. They show people how much they care by spending their money. Oftentimes, they live paycheck to paycheck. They have a lot of debt because they like spending on credit cards. They like spending money that they don't have. And what's important to them is having the next best thing, having that iPhone 13 as soon as it comes out, having that next Mac Pro as soon as it comes out, having that next, you know, the newest Porsche 911 Turbo or whatever as soon as it comes out, getting a house that maybe they can't afford. The psychology behind that is here on the screen. There's an association between love and money during childhood. Maybe growing up, they received a lot of gifts for birthdays and holidays, but the opposite is true as well. They may have been denied material things when they were growing up. And so now as an adult, they try to overcompensate by treating themselves. So go back to that last slide, Aaliyah, sorry. So you have to understand the psychology behind your behaviors. The next type of spender is the saver. Next slide. Thank you very much. So this person shops only when it's necessary. This is the mama that's yelling to the kids, close the refrigerator door. Who left the refrigerator open? Because, you know, that light in the refrigerator will be on. So it's going to use some electricity. They rarely make purchases for credit cards. They spend money that they actually have. They spend the cash that they have. They don't make a lot of purchases on credit cards. They have low debt. They're usually frugal. They're not concerned about following trends or anything like that. And they're very conservative by nature. And so the psychology behind the saver is that they have a low tolerance for risk. Oftentimes, these folks are very anxious types of people. They may have grown up in an environment where money was always tight, where they had low family income, or maybe there was a major event that was traumatizing during their childhood, like a parent who might have had a stroke or a heart attack and got sick. And so, you know, it slashed the budget for the household in half. And maybe they may not have had, you know, the newest sneakers that came out, or they couldn't afford to do certain things anymore because of that. So they learn, let me save my money so I don't end up in this type of situation. So that's sort of a piece of the psychology of money. There is a lot the brain controls, and the way we spend and the way we save is one of those things, to name a few, and that's quite major.
Well, is it good or bad to be either the saver or the shopper? Like, is one better than the other?
It's absolutely awful to be exclusively a shopper. That means you're not saving, you're not investing, because the other two money types, besides, we talked about the shopper and the saver. Remember, there's the debtor and also the investor. So some people are a combination of a couple. Some people are savers and investors and maybe a tad bit shopper. You know, I consider myself an investor, a saver, more of a saver, an investor, but I also like to shop. So I try to have a little balance with it, you know, with everything. But I don't consider myself an overspender. So you gotta have, it's better to be more of an investor and a saver than it is like a shopper.
Right. Okay, I'm a crossover too. Yeah, I see that, like a hybrid of the few of the choices.
Exactly. And so before we get out of here, I just want to plug DRT Brain Love Behavioral Services. We do have a wellness spa. It's mainly for our patients, but it's also open to the public. So if you ever have an interest in getting a facial, getting a massage, and now we've been doing CBT massages, which is cognitive behavioral therapy. The massage therapist talks to you while they're doing your 50-minute massage. So it qualifies to being reimbursed by your insurance because you're getting CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, and you're also having your whole body massage for 50 minutes. And we do laser hair removal for melanated skin.
I have no idea. You've been holding back on us.
Next time we have a little get together, you guys have to come over.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so brain love.
Brain love.
And we'll see you next week.
All right. Ciao.
And now my next co-host, she is our arts and culture expert. She knows everything that's happening. She is very hands-on with the culture right here within South Florida. So Imani Latifa, happy Hump Wednesday. How's it going? Oh, you're on mute.
All right. I was just going in. Hey, Queen, how are you today?
I am good. How are you doing?
Wonderful. I am fine. I am fabulous. A little crazy because I'm trying to move, but you know, that's just the growing pains of living in South Florida. But that's all right.
It's going to get done. It's going to get done.
Yes, absolutely. So, you know, it's still Black History Month. We are still raising our Black fists in the air. And so I had the opportunity to do a couple of things, one which was really, really cool. And so I kind of sent a little video. So I hope that our 4K, you have a dream to shoot in 4K, but sometimes it does not work out that way. Look, that rhymes. So I just wanted to say I posted it actually. I had the amazing time to spend some time with an artist in Fort Lauderdale. Her name is Yvette Michelle. She is an internationally known artist. She is dope. So I kind of had like a little private class with her about curating spaces. And so my supposedly pictures, and I'm going to get better with that, but her website is up there. It's YvetteMichelle.com. She is extremely dope. So some of the new collections that she has is a collaboration with another local artist and collector, High Chief Nathaniel Styles. So I spent the time with them learning how to place pieces, learning how to use museum techniques of hanging things. So it was like an amazing class. She's going to take me on as one of her little students. I asked, would she teach? Because this is the type of information that, you know, it takes a long time and lots of education and money to learn to get degrees in museum studies and stuff like that. So they're doing that. And next week, there's going to be a fabulous art walk right in Fort Lauderdale, right off of Sistrunk. So if you're not doing anything, come out to that. It's going to be lit. It's going to be a bunch of different galleries. So they'll be open to kind of house people coming back and forth. And that will be Saturday and Sunday next week. So we're still continuing our Black History 365. And the last thing I did last Friday night, which I was also trying to show pictures of, was if you haven't gone to check them out, please go see the African American Research Library. They had their 20th year anniversary. It's sponsored by, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but those people who have the Tennessee whiskey, those folks. So I'll just say that. So they had drinks going on. They had music. They had soca. And it was right outside. So they have fabulous programming coming up. They have an exhibition going on there now. It is absolutely free. So if you want to do something with the family and the children, go to the African American Research Library. So like I said, celebrating their 20th anniversary, we had a ball. And that is my report for right now, Miss Nikki. I thank you. And I owe you a date, girl, because, you know, sister be tired. I owe you a date.
But you're moving. You get a pass. I know you're moving. You get a pass.
Thank
But
you,
after you're done
ma'am.
moving now, no more excuses.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
I
ma'am.
got you on video.
Yes.
Okay, wait.
Thank
Okay, wait.
you.
There's two more events coming up. So you said Art Walk Fort Lauderdale, which is
Yes.
next weekend.
Yes, Saturday and Sunday, correct. Uh-huh.
And then there's also the event in Sistrunk as well.
Well,
Or is
that's
Art Walk
opposite stream. That's the
also
same
part of
thing.
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this is something that they're doing ongoing, but believe it or not, there are 3 Black-owned galleries up there and a studio where you can take fabulous pictures. Because I spend a lot of time on Miami Beach, and that's a whole nother vibe. I'll get into that next time. I'm trying to discover more of what's going on in different parts of the city that I don't know about, different parts of South Florida. So I just want to, kind of push that because we have Black artists, culture, pushing out African things everywhere, but we just got to know where it is. So.
Wow, thank you. So, okay, so just Google Art Walk Sistrunk, and then we'll get the
Yes.
info from there.
Fort Lauderdale Art Walk. Yes, ma'am. And I'm putting the artist, Yvette Michelle, her website. Please check it out, YvetteMichelle.com. So, yes. All right.
Imani, thank you so much. Good luck with your move. Hopefully, next time we see you, we feel packed, moving to a new place, and stress-free.
Thank you so much. All right.
All right, we'll see you next week. And now on to my next co-host. He's a private and personal chef. He's also the host on Tasty Island on American Public Television. And Mr. Chef Irie, welcome. Happy Hump Wednesday.
Happy Hump Wednesday, darling. How are you? How are you?
I'm good.
Well, look, we kind of color coordinated, baby. What's up? What's up?
What you got?
I had to, go doll up it, because we are a lifestyle show. We gotta look nice and decent, like we decent people. Come on now, girl. What you drinking over there, baby? What you drinking over there?
Okay, Mr. Dapper. So what's going on tonight?
Hey, what can I say, man? It's another day. But hey, it's it's Black History Month, and a whole bunch of things are happening every day. I'm actually proud of South Florida for doing some things. I may not be able to go out like I want to, but hey, it is what it is. And I heard you mentioning Jill Tracy going to be one of the judges at the Art of Tiki, which is one of the events that I'm doing next week as well. Yeah, so I'll be so I guess I know, I guess she's judging the cocktails. I'm not sure. But
yeah, the cocktails, yeah.
Awesome. So if I don't make it down from South Beach, I may be calling you or an Uber if I, once I finish, all the food giveaway Friday.
You're not gonna be too full. You're gonna be all right, still hanging out.
Because I have to, because I have another event the very next day in Hollandale Beach, Food and Groove. So it's gonna be like a busy weekend for me, and hopefully I'm trying to see if I can get tickets to go to I guess the Goya thing on Sunday, and probably check out Andrew Zimmer. So we'll see. So. But yes, Black History Month, and so of course, we're always talking about food and its representation and its representatives for sure. And one of the things that I thought I wanted to highlight, how food was definitely a big part of social. It's always a big part of social and political changes, i.e., the civil rights, and definitely part of the Underground Railroad. People who stepped up, places that stepped up. But food was always a big part. And of course, the civil rights being part of the South, the Southern peoples, and our Black people's movement. So, but let's go, just a little bit, one of the characters, back in slavery, Thomas Downing, he was born a free man. And eventually made his way to New York. Hey, New Yorkers, what's up, baby? What's up, baby? Look it down. And one of the things he started, an oyster cellar. And oysters was back in the day, like how hot dogs are big in New York. Back in those days, oyster cellars were a big thing. And he opened an oyster cellar. But he opened it up, and it was to serve the elites, more of the elites, people who could afford, he had a nice little place,
But one of the things that most people did not know, he was an abolitionist, and so his place was a stop in the Underground Railroad. He helped to save some of those people and hide some of those people in the basement of his restaurant there in New York. So, in terms of food, how it helped, um, you know, the people who were escaping and seeking freedom in the North, his place doubled as one of those places on the Underground Railroad. So that's a cool thing to know. And as I'm reading all these things, it's impressive to see how food was a big part of that area, not just in the restaurants and stuff, but the foods that people ate along the way, as they were hiding at nights, and how they would go and steal stuff, or out of cornfields and business ventures, where they would just sort of move in and out like shadows without trying not to get caught. So food, they had to survive, and the things that they ate, a lot of those things they don't eat now. But moving forward, restaurants and people, how they did and what they did in the face of the civil rights movement. So when you look at Leah Chase, Leah Chase's restaurant in New Orleans, Dookie Chase. So if you're a part of the food scene, and you travel, and food is your thing, and you were in New Orleans, sorry, and Southern food, you were in New Orleans. Leah Chase's place is one that you would want to go. So during the heights of the civil rights movement, that became one of the places that a lot of the activists, they would gather. And because they did not have a lot of problems or issues where mixed races could gather, it often and the cops didn't bother them. It provided a place for them to gather and discuss, and strategize. So Dr. King and a lot of the activists, they met there. So because it provided safe haven and safe comfort. So another person, Georgia Gilmore, she eventually opened this place called Georgia Gilmore's Table. Now, she was a supporter of the Montgomery bus boycott. And because she lost her job. And, but she was a great cook. And one of the things that, one of the things before she lost her job, biscuits were a big thing, and they were inexpensive to make. So on the advice of Dr. King, he's like, yes, open up a restaurant. And so she opened up an underground supper club, if you would, and that became very uh, important in the civil rights movement, because she even went further to form a women's club called what is it called? Club from Nowhere. And the basis of this club for the women, they were baked goods was a big thing for this club. And what they did, they funds from sales to events that they would go to would help fund and sustain the people who are using vans and trucks and stuff like that to transport people. It helped, the funds from that help to keep that going while the boycott was going on. So food, here we go, people doing their food thing. And there's another place in Atlanta, Pascal's. Pascal's, they did smothered pork chops, and they too, the brothers Robert and Jane Pascal, they had one of the few black-owned restaurants in Atlanta. And oftentimes, a lot of people would come, just like Dookie Chase's place. The activists would come, and they, in a lot of times, would eat for free. They would provide food for them as they were there discussing and all that good stuff. So, food for social change or for political change, it is so important, not just here in the United States, but around the world. When you really dive into it and delve into it, to see how important food has been in many other changes that we are accustomed to, whether it's through slavery, through the civil rights, through war. Food has been an awesome connector for our people.
Yeah, no, food brings people together. Like people
That it does.
congregate over food. That's
Yes.
it brings people. I mean, food is it stimulates the mind. It's therapeutic.
Hmm.
But on another layer or level, food brings people together to talk, to congregate, to
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, there's
And
more to it than
especially if,
food,
especially if, yeah, if it's some good food, some good grub.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah, you want to come back. Yes, and
right.
but when you look, so when you look at public service, think people doing stuff in the community. You got people going out there working, and then you have people volunteer, and they'll cook food and all that good stuff, and people come out and they'll feed the mass, and everybody's like, oh, we didn't expect this, but
Mm.
because there are people with the good nature, food is here you go, food again. We work, we toil, we get fed, we go back, we work, and we toil.
Mhm. It's a connector. Yep,
There you
exactly.
go.
So, Chef, so your show's tomorrow night, 7 p.m.
So
Flavor of
yeah,
South.
7 p.m. and I think we're doing a bakery tomorrow. Yes. So all things baked goods. Yes, so look out for that. Flavor South Florida. So it should be awesome. And of
All
course,
right.
like I said, I'm going to be at Sobe next week. The Art of Tiki on Friday night at the Surf Comer, and Saturday night it will be Food and Groove in Hollandale Beach at Gulfstream.
All right, Mr. Busy. All right. So we'll see you next weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow night. And
Yes.
have a good night. Oh, wait, we have to do our little cheers.
Salute, darling.
Salute.
Salute. Yes. Woo, Remy, baby, Remy.
Okay. And now on to our featured guest. She is an actress and a writer. More importantly, she is a soulful songstress. So the wonderful Pauline Marie, thank you so much for being our featured guest tonight. So how are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks. Thank you so much for having me. I've really been enjoying the show myself.
Okay, but we're glad you're enjoying it.
It's very informative. A lot of good information.
Thank you. So let's get right into it. So tell us a little bit about your backgrounds, your upbringing.
Okay. Well, I'm originally from Jamaica. I was born in Montego Bay, Jamaica. What's up, Chef Irie? So, and I grew up as an average Jamaican girl who had a lot of dreams and wanted to, be on TV, wanted to make music. Didn't really ever think any of it was possible until I came to the United States. But then my parents had other ideas. They're great Jamaican parents. It's like go to school, get an education.
Mm-hmm.
My mom said, what was her quote? Nobody ever made a living singing music.
That's the mentality. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I never let go of it. I always had a love for it. It was in me. I was born with it. So but I've always let life and people kind of keep me away from it out of my own fear. I let them bolster my fear. Instead of letting someone bolster your confidence, I let them bolster my fear. And just until a few years ago, when I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer that had actually metastasized, and you realize that, you don't really know how much sand is left in the glass bottle. You got to really just set your fear aside and step into your faith, right? So
yes, you have to find your purpose.
mm-hmm.
You're here on this planet to find your purpose and to gift that to the world.
Right.
You know, you're going to have people, you know, they may not support your vision or your dream, but you're going to have to put your foot down, which you're doing right now. And
Yeah.
find that purpose for you to give back to us, you know. So, and I'm glad that you did that, and it's I'm happy to hear that you're safe and you're healthy, because
Yes.
that must have been so scary to be
Yeah.
diagnosed with thyroid cancer. Like,
They
I'm,
kind of they talk to you. They go, oh, well, you know, you're sitting with a doctor, and they're like, you know, it's kind of the ones you want to have. And I'm thinking, okay. And he said, you know, you could live 2, 5, 10, 20 years. And I'm going, okay. So your mind kind of zooms in on the 2 when you get very, 2? You don't even think about the 20, you just think 2. And then when you get past the 2 and you realize, okay. And then when you get past the 5, which I just did, I'm in my 6th year.
oh wow.
They tell you it's 50%, you know, recurring, but 5 years, and my appointments just got moved to annual instead of every 6 months. So I'm feeling really lucky, really blessed, really that I can't be afraid anymore.
No, don't be afraid anymore. Yeah, just go after it, girl. Just go after it. Nikki says YOLO, you know? So, but
Yes.
thank you. We're so blessed to have your presence. So blessed.
Thank you.
So how did you get into the artist space? How did that come about?
So when I realized that I wanted to pursue music and I wasn't going to be afraid anymore, I kind of blew up my life. I was married for many years, and he just referred that I didn't do that, but I was determined. So I kind of just went forward to try to learn as much as I could about it, because, you know, in Jamaica, the opportunities, let me start. You know, I went to high school in the Bronx. I went to an all-girls Catholic school. And some of the opportunities that you get in public school, like playing instruments and music lessons and things along that line, didn't exist for me in Jamaica or in my small Catholic high school. So I really was a babe in the woods. I knew nothing about what's a C chord, what's a major, what's a minor. And I really felt like the logical part of my brain really felt like I needed an education. So I started going to school for it, where I came across other creatives and really feeling brave enough to really explore that. They were so welcoming of me and of what I was trying to accomplish, that they really gave me the courage and strength to step out. So how did I get to the artist space? A lot of people in my life that came into my life recently that encouraged me to do that and made me feel safe enough to step out. So that's really how I got here.
Good. And I want to say, so Michelle Ralston, she goes, much blessings to you. So it's they're leaving comments in the Facebook comments.
Okay.
So, yeah. So much blessings. So it's okay. So based on what you said a while ago, so it was high school that kind of helped push you into that part as far as finding your talent, basically. So the high school years.
No, it was actually going back to school years. I went back to school years. Yeah, Palm Beach Community College. I went back to community college, and I'm an older student, but they didn't care. It was all about the music.
Yes.
And because of that community, you know, when you're a kid, you think if you're good, like if you're really good, everybody's going to support you. They're going to want to help you. They're going to want to make sure that you get where you're going. But that's not true, you see. People themselves, they don't know how to do that because no one taught them. And so it's not easy for someone who's not in that space to support you and say, oh yeah, you know, I'm going to support you, your dreams, and you're going to go for it. They were busy trying to make a living, trying to survive. And so my parents didn't have the tools to really provide me with that. So outside in the world, people who are other creatives, they provided me with that space. They allowed me to, hey, come on up at the Seagate Hotel. I showed up one night, and the Orson Whitfield, who was playing the piano there, said, you know, why don't you come sing a song with us? You know, just things like that. And there was Ian Craven in Delray, who was really curating a lot of artist spots. Say, hey, why don't you go perform at the Delray Tennis Center? I can get you a little gig up there, or come to my open mic night. It was people who didn't know me who gave me that step up.
Yeah, and you have to surround yourself with that type of energy, because they feed that energy, and that passion comes out even more, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so who's your favorite artist? Your favorite all-time artist?
God. That's so hard.
All right, give us two of them.
Okay. All right, so Ella Fitzgerald, and Billie Holiday.
Oh, you played a role. I read your bio. Didn't you do like a role playing Billie Holiday, the character? Yeah,
I did. They have there's a one woman play written that called Lady Day at the Emerson Bar and Grill. So it was my very first audition. I didn't go to get the part. I went to check it off my bucket list. And so I kind of showed up at this audition, in my sweatpants and t-shirt, and no headshot, no monologue. And I just showed up and I was like, hey, I'm here to audition. And they were like, okay, can you sing? I'm like, yeah, you have a song? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to sing the song. And I said, do you know it? They went, no. But I sang it anyway. Mm-hmm. And then they said, well, do you know God Bless the Child? And I'm like, well, I don't know all the words, but I could kind of, fake it. So they're like, okay, fake it. So I was like, ba-da-da, da-da-da. And then I said that, and then they gave me a monologue, and they said, go out and study that and come back in. So I come back in. It's a page, okay? I come back in and I say, am I supposed to memorize this? Because
not in 10 minutes.
They're like, well, just do your best. I'm like, I'm gonna read it. They said, okay. So I was reading it. Next thing you know, I'm smoking my pen. I'm sitting down. I'm getting up. And when I finished, they didn't say anything. So I was like, all right, I'm done. And I said, wow, they weren't even paying attention.
Nothing. They were just
like, it was like crickets. And then they just started clapping. And I was like, oh, okay. And they're like, we'll let you know. And I get off the stage like, right.
They were trying to just keep a poker face. They were just,
let me know. They're not gonna let me know. I didn't expect it. And then I got the part.
See, you never know. Yes.
It was crazy.
You never know. Congrats on that part. Okay.
It was amazing.
Yeah. So tell us about your latest project. No genre, no label.
Literally no label. Literally. When you're an independent artist out here, it's hard. It's rough. There's so many talented people in our universe, and we're all crowding into the same space, desperate to be heard, right? And people's attention now, it's just like, either you're in or you're out, or you're, up or you're down, or, and the labels kind of rule everything. But I don't care. I'm here to do this. So it is actually a mixture of original songs that I write that go anywhere from jazz to kind of poppy, a little bit of a hip hop poetry thrown in there, to a redo of two of my favorites. Lala Means I Love You by the Delphonics. I do a take on that. And then Stop in the Name of Love by Diana Ross. I do a really slow down R&B version of it. I slow it way down. Slow. Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. And Aaliyah, are we going to show the website? Are we going to pull up the website? That'll be great. In the meantime, okay, so you have a single called Let You Fro. And I have to ask you, because you got a fro and I got a fro. So tell us about the inception of Let You Fro and what it means.
Yeah, so it's Let Your Fro is more of it's almost like an anthem. I remember growing up and putting the towel on my head and just
I did that too.
My long flowing hair, because that was the definition of beauty, right? The long hair. And I could never accept myself or show any love to myself if my hair wasn't relaxed at all times. I thought that was what I had to do in order to be even considered beautiful. So a couple of years ago, though, I realized that I didn't have any love for myself. And because I didn't have love for myself and value for myself, I couldn't really expect anyone to have the same. So I went on this journey. I shaved my head. Yeah, I went down to my shoulders. I shaved it 2 years. I shaved it off. And so I could really see myself. And every morning you have to look at that self and say, I love you. I accept you. You're great. And so, so this is 2 years in the making.
Woo!
Yeah. But even more importantly, I wanted to show people at my day job, young girls, young kids out there, that you don't need anything else. It's cool if you want it, if you want to try it, you want to put a wig on, you want to put braids in, but you're perfect exactly as you are. And so, you know, whether you're gay, straight, trans, he, she, binary, non-binary, whatever you are, everything about you is perfect and you're beautiful. And so let your fro, although it literally is let your fro grow, let your fro glow. It's also about just be you.
Right. Yeah. There's so many layers. Like there's so many stories beneath like the follicles of like our fro. We all have something to tell. We all have a story. So I big chopped, but girl, you shaved yours off. So I have to applaud you for you shaved yours. Like, woo! But it's gorgeous.
Yeah. I did the flip.
Yeah. But it's blooming. It's gorgeous. And I always say you're fro-ing free. And that's all that matters.
Yes.
You are fro-ing free. This is how it was meant to grow out of our scalp.
Yes.
This is how we were born. Our hair grows up, not down. So
reaches to
so
God.
long those towel days.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So what is next for Pauline Marie?
Well, I have a new single that's going to be out in a couple weeks called Tangled. And yeah, the chorus is literally "Come get tangled in my curls."
I love it.
It's a little bit deep. And then after that, I'm working on a jazz album. So
wow. So how can we find your music?
I'm streaming on all platforms. If you search Pauline Marie, or if you go to my website, paulinemarie.com, you can find links to everything. Not only can you buy it, but you can listen to it for free. It's everywhere because it's meant to be shared and enjoyed. And so it's on YouTube, Pandora, everywhere. And I'm on Instagram at Pauline Marie Music.
Okay. So now being a woman of color, and being in the artist space, what have your journey been like? What kind of challenges or obstacles or successes have you, faced during your journey?
Well, it's interesting because society has for so long been told what a Black artist is supposed to do. Either you are Mary J. Blige or you're Erykah Badu, or you are, or you fit in this box. Do you fit in this box? No? Okay, you're jazz. When you're a Black artist. If you're a white artist, you can be hip hop, you can be pop, you can be jazz, you can be anything. But if you're Black, oh, you're not hip hop? Oh, you're not R&B, you're not singing like Miguel? Oh, you're jazz. Which is fine. I've got great company in jazz. But I find that that's really been the biggest struggle, is redefining what it is to be a Black female artist, and not 22.
Yeah.
That's really the challenge, is being able to be in your own skin and being okay with it. And just getting even exposure is very difficult. If you're not a certain age and a certain genre, it's very difficult to be recognized as, oh, this is great music, or this is music. and when you're a Black artist, they really want you to be in that narrow space of is your music SZA? I've had somebody ask me, so is it like SZA?
Oh, huh?
What?
Okay.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Yeah, that part.
Yeah, it's so commercialized. Like you're like you're being your authentic self,
Right,
but yet they want you to be someone else
right,
in order, I guess, to fit into society and their perception of what you should be.
right.
They
Yeah,
want you to have imposter syndrome, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. When you want to be your authentic self with your gift that you want to grace and give back to the world. So, okay.
exactly. Like when Solange Knowles took her hair off, I got it. I didn't get it then, but I got it now.
Yes.
I got it
Yes.
now. Yeah.
Very symbolic. Very. So, what would you tell your younger self, and how old would you be?
Oh, I'm getting emotional with that
Oh,
one. I'd be 14. I will have just been here and from Jamaica. And I would say, don't erase your heritage and history because you're good enough.
wow.
Yeah.
Well, no, that really hit because I'm Jamaican too. I was born in Jamaica, and I moved here when I was 7 years old, and I can definitely relate to what you just said a while ago. Yeah. Just moving from an island, different customs and culture over to the States, and trying to assimilate, trying to adjust. It's a lot of layers being Caribbean, a Caribbean woman that we have to deal with. So I understand it's a whole nother topic, but just reflecting now at an older age, yes, I totally get it. So thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Well, Pauline, thank you so much again. Continue to grace us with your beautiful voice. And again, we can find your music at paulinemarie.com. That's the website.
Yes.
And yes, and on Instagram, Pauline Marie Music is your handle.
Yes,
so
it is.
Thanks again. Keep throwing free, sister.
Thank you. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Much love.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
And again, a shout out to our sponsors, the Florida Lottery and Duke and Dame. Visit our Facebook page and our Instagram page for more info on our next shows coming up. It's MIA Media GRP on both platforms. Again, it's MIA Media GRP. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.